Hi love. As soon as I saw those low-rise jeans and that only certain people can wear them, I knew the thinness was back and fatty has to go at the back of the bus.
My favorite thing to be is skinny.
And sooner rather than later, I found myself at the back of the bus. This is... Now, I'm wearing my ring on the wrong finger. Oops. It happens sometimes. Anyway, thinness is back. I mean, from celebrities and the rich people reversing all their BBLs and suddenly looking very slim, to your average influencer coming online and telling you that being skinny is a currency, being skinny is the outfit. Are we going back to 2002? A year after I was born? It's interesting because skinny is being rebranded as this wellness symbol of wealth.
My favorite thing to be is skinny. And I fear you cannot say that out loud, but it is my favorite thing to be, and it is my favorite fear to not be. And this is just for me personally. This is all personal to me. But I just wanted to say it out loud because honestly, it's all I think about. It's all I think about. Okay.
Somebody saying that her video is a white supremacy dog whistle. Y'all, everybody take a deep breath. Be fucking serious.
Many people are going to "it's not that deep" their way into fascism. Not seeing the connection between thinness, black girl luxury, white supremacy, and capitalism is part of the anti-intellectualism that will help radicalize a lot of black women into the right. So let's break it down here and follow this comment to look at my other videos on this phenomenon. But before we move on, I want to plug this scholarship for HBCU students that I have been endlessly promoting because it's $40K in funding for a STEM degree. I want black students to be able to secure education funding for the next 4 years, given that the incoming administration is going to try to cut that back as much as possible. So go to the link in my bio and see if you qualify to apply. Fascism is about aesthetics. Yes, it's a term used to define economic and political policies, but those policies are rooted in a specific aesthetic. That is why fascist states are so concerned and obsessed with ethnic cleansing. This is to root out the undesirables, the disabled, the people of color, the non-white, etc., and the fat. Why? Because the core of fascism is militarism. Obviously, we're talking about 20th century fascism of Mussolini and the H-man. This is a period of war, conquest, and nationalism. And one thing about fascists is that they want the individual to represent the state. A strong state that is ready to fight its enemies and conquer people in the global south needs an athletic population. That is the root of the fascist ideology. That is why Mussolini's Italy was full of recreations of these Roman statues that harken back to ancient Roman athleticism. This athleticism also applies to women and is conflated with discipline. And that connection between athleticism and discipline is important because it's used to establish the supremacy of the white body over the black body. White supremacists justified colonizing Africans because they were seen as savage, and this savagery was linked and attributed to the warm climate, which inspired idleness. And while not all Africans had larger features, many did, and like Sarah Bartman, were poked and prodded in European zoos. So now we're starting to have this association of idleness and large features with the black people that you are saying are inferior. Therefore, European society goes from depicting figures of curvaceous women as signs of wealth and a wealthy husband status to completely decrying the curvaceous figure in order to set whiteness apart from blackness. So if black people are idle, fat, and savage, then the white person needs to be industrious, thin, and enlightened. Sabrina String's Freeing the Black Body details out this entire history. And one of my mutuals, J.R. Yusuf, wrote a piece about it that you should all go read, but I'll read you a quote. To be pious, refined, beautiful, superior was to restrict oneself of food, and the appearance of thinness was evidence of one's own devotion and refusal to indulge in worldly pleasures. Sugar, which was being extracted from the colonies, also has a really large part to play in this because it was seen as deteriorating the moral fiber of society. And Puritans, with their Protestant work ethic, really emphasized a diet of milk, seeds, and a very strict way of eating. Preaching austerity when it comes to food is a great way to prepare people for incoming economic austerity that will require them to make the cutbacks that will then cause them to eat less, which is why oftentimes when thin is in, a recession is looming. So while y'all are busy saying that this is not that deep, white supremacists are making whole political theories out of these associations and they're gaining power to implement them. And the fact that a lot of level up content aimed at black women encourages the use of anti-intellectualism to shut down criticism of this entire phenomenon is your first sign that that kind of content mind is a pipeline to the right. The same right wing that is going to try to dismantle the Department of Education once it gets in power. So please check out that scholarship link to my bio, see if you qualify, apply, and get that college funding to get that degree. One last thing before I go, follow me on Instagram so that we don't lose connection after this app is destroyed. My username is joy.malonza. I talk about ethical tourism, sustainability, and Afro-romanticism over there. So let's stay connected. Okay.
Basically the ultimate luxury thing that's just gonna take you the next level socially. So in today's video, I want to discuss more than just the aesthetics of being thin, but how thinness is now being weaponized and made to have a gap between the rich and the poor, the commoners. You know, I love to use the word commoners, as the commoners, the ones that are not in the 1%. It's about power, privilege, and control. Now, the resurgence of thinness as a status symbol and the rise of the medication that makes people thin, such as Ozempic, which I'm sure you've heard about. And because Ozempic is expensive in other medications that people are using, that again puts that gap between the rich and the poor. You can clearly see who can afford it, and therefore puts you on top of this hierarchy where people completely different lose so much weight without doing anything, which again just shows that this is not because of health. There's a lot of people and influencers telling you this about health, but it's really not. It's about the gap. It's about differentiating themselves from the masses. The creator making a deep dive on how there's a surgence of a lot of wealthy people showing us what's in their kitchen, their cooking, and also their fridges that are massive, that are just filled with green vegetables. And that now the way to show how wealthy you are is to show that you can afford like fresh food, and that food can be is now a status of being rich, basically, that because you are unhealthy you have access to KFC and all that kind of stuff. This is why your body looks this way. And now to separate ourselves from that, to look like we eat better, now we're gonna eat fresh foods, and that is the reason why we're thin. But that's not really why they are that way. They have doctors, they have Ozempic, they have many other things that are making them that way. But just that whole food gap is just like showing you that you are not a part of us. Moving on to fashion and thinness, there was a rise in the whole, what is it called? Old money aesthetic. Do you remember that? The old money aesthetic, wearing beige. I feel like I kind of got influenced into that and started dressing more modestly, sort of no color. I bought a lot of beige things that I completely regret because I love color. Do you see that? I love bright colors, and now I have all this black and gray things where I'm like, girl, why? But I did go on a shopping spree where I bought all the colors that I love, so like at least that's good. But like, yeah, do you remember that, where a lot of those colors and tones don't really look that good on the more average person or bigger people, because or at least it didn't look good on me because it's so basic, right? Those things, those outfits could only really look good and be aesthetically pleasing on Instagram when you're scrolling on your reels, because the people that were wearing them were skinny. That's where that whole trend, is it the outfit or is just skinny? Or people coming online saying that this is what I'm wearing, it's the simple thing, but you know what the gag is that skinny is the outfit. Skinny is what's making this outfit look good. And as soon as I saw this creator say that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is why every time I've been trying to recreate outfits, it don't look good, because I'm skinny. I'm not, because I am short and fat. That's why it doesn't look good, because skinny is the outfit. Like, have you ever seen me with low-rise jeans? That's not gonna look cute, because like, so there's already a divide where only certain clothes are only gonna be marketed to certain people, and because they want the skinny people to have them. There's a shop in America, I think, I forgot what it's called, where they even have the doors that are small so that only small people can go in. It's so, I don't know how those things like are allowed. It's actually ridiculous. But yeah, anyway, on social media, whatever trend that has come up, the clean girl aesthetic, you know, a trad wife, whatever, if you look at the creators that were main in those trends, they were skinny white women. Let's just be real here, right? which makes me question, was skinny ever gone? Because of the body positivity movement, everyone sort of like pretended that skinny was like out, but like I feel like it was never really out. I feel like it just got put, you know, on the shelf, or in subliminal messaging. There was a type of skinny, there was a type of fat that you could be that still was a replica of thinness, if you get what I mean. Like, you could be plus size, but like a certain type of plus size is allowed. You still have to have curves. You can't be too big, right? Which is just people trying to make a bigger version of skinny people, you know, or not skinny people, but like thinness in general. So because the slim thick was in basically BBL culture, right, where there's a certain type of skinny that you need to be. Fast forward, people started to take off, or what, de-inflate, that's not a word, basically drain all their BBL fat like out of their butts, because, you know, skinny is in. But I just feel, I'm gonna make a deeper analysis video about this, that sometimes rich people, when whatever procedures they're getting start to get mainstream, they want to separate themselves more, so then they kind of abandon that, you know what I'm saying? Like, because everybody could afford BBLs now, it's kind of like, well, no, we are now going to go back to skinny because everybody is looking the same. Everybody's looking like us. And I can say the same thing for fillers. Everyone's dissolving their fillers. Ooh. But anyway, that's a video for another day. But like, yeah, BBLs, everybody is taking them off. That's not very cute anymore. Now it's looked at as ghetto. Like, ooh, you got a BBL. It don't look right. But like, and it's funny because like all that is they were trying to look like black women. Like, that's how our bodies naturally are. And now we are sort of like out of the trend. Our natural bodies are like on the shelf, you know. Now it's skinniness. Now that's what's popular. But anyway, let's go into the more historical era and how body standards like changed throughout history. So, in the 1800s, in agrarian society, fuller bodies represented access to food and wealth, while thinness often indicated to poverty and illness. And Thomas Walker said, corpulence is a matter of taste, but leanness is a matter of necessity. And then later on, during the industrialization, during the Industrial Revolution, by the 19th century, industrialization and urbanization shifted ideals. Thinness began representing self-control, refined, and modernity. And the Gibson Girl era introduced a lean, athletic silhouette as ideal for women's high society, which I think kind of parallels to today, where thinness is just showing that you have self-control, you have access to certain things, you have money, you can play sport on the weekend, you can play sport and have activities during the week. You go to Pilates because you can afford Pilates. That's what is showing, that you take care of yourself and you care about your health. And if you look bigger, you don't care about yourself, and you're poor, you're working so many jobs that you don't have the time to do all these other extra activities that are going to help you lose weight. And then again, with a lot of influencers coming online saying that, oh, their life is so much better now that they're thin. Oh, I used to cry myself to sleep because I was big back, all that kind of stuff. So keep an eye out for that. And let's talk about white supremacy and like fatphobia. You didn't think I was gonna go in this entire video without talking about white supremacy. It always boils down to that. Like, it's not my fault. It's really not my fault. But anyway, during colonial time, white supremacy established that thinness is like next to godliness, basically. And really demonized the black slaves, the black women, for having curvier bodies, right? We all know about Sarah Botman. If you don't know, I'm gonna put links down below so that you can research about it. But like, basically, she was mocked. She was dehumanized because of how her body looked like. I mean, I think 40 years ago, or like, I'm not sure in the 19 when, but like they still had her corpse as display in a museum. Can you imagine that? Because her body's just so fascinating, you know, that disgusting, right? And I think it was also this jealousy thing that also enforced the whole thinness next to cleanliness and whiteness, whatever, because when these black women were taken from their homes in Africa, put into these new European countries, right, and the men fetishized them, you know, their curves, their butts and boobs and all that kind of stuff. The white women were now jealous of that, and then just them being natural and being themselves was now seen as just dirty and demonized and like disgusting. So the further away you were from that, the better, right? That's what's resurging now, where it's like the BBL thing is like, nasty, why do you do that to yourself, right? But like, that's just how black women are built, like a 99% of that. But now we are again being looked at as, you know, nasty and all that kind of stuff for having just our natural bodies, and that now being thin is just better. I mean, just now in the 2000s, do you remember the movie Mean Girls, when Regina gains weight and then she like bumps on the table and they're like, fat ass? I remember watching that when I was younger and just hating my butt. I was like 13 and I hated just having curves and just, I wanted to be skinny. I wanted to not have shape. I wanted to be like the other girls in my predominantly white school, and I just, you know, like I would dream of having surgery like at like 10 years old. That's what I was thinking about. I wanted the thigh gap, you know. I remember, oh, and I was so skinny. Oh, let me put an image there. Like I remember weighing like 40 kgs and being like, oh, I'm so fat. Girl, I needed to calm down. But anyway, that's what scares me, that this thing is coming back again. Oh, it's already back, but it's kind of like, now I'm obviously in a better like space. Like I like, you know, everything about myself, but like there are some girlies that are out there that are just like, ooh, seeing all this information and like gonna change their bodies and regret it later on, you know, just because of a trend. Do you guys like my braids? Yeah, I did it myself. Yeah, I'm gonna link down the braids that I got there, and they don't tangle, so that's good. Let's talk about the privileges of being skinny, for being a skinny legend. Okay, just more opportunities in general, especially in the social media world. They're just presented to you because you are skinnier, okay? And I know. Some people are like, but I, like, oh, sometimes skinny people get on my nerves. But anyway, some of them really be like, we don't have privilege. You have privilege. Unfortunately, if I lose weight right now, I might gain more subscribers. Let's actually, right? So, especially when it comes to like models, people want to be more. When it comes to like models, the skinnier the better. You get more opportunities if you're skinnier, because then you can fit in the one size that all designers have. We need to discuss that as well. Not now, but like, because that's always the reason, like, oh, the things are, the models have to be a certain size because the designers, you know, like, let's talk about the designers for a second. Why are they doing that? Why are they not? Okay, no, I'm getting off topic. Right. Anyway, thin people also, like, thinness also gets you to have a more variety of fashion, right? You can wear more clothes when you're thin. I mean, I'm in France here and the sizes are just much smaller than when I was in South Africa, okay? So I have to really search for my size, and also sizes are weird. We should also have an essay about sizes, like women's sizes, because why are my pants XSXL and sometimes I'm an M? Like, it's the same body, but like, that's all, that doesn't mentally do well sometimes, because I literally have pants that are 3XL and some that are S. Make it make sense. I bought a tracksuit yesterday, S. Makes no sense, because I know I'm not an S, right? But anyway, I digress. Studies have shown that people that are thinner are perceived better. They are most likely to be treated more positively. I mean, have you seen the horror stories of fat women talking about how, like, when they're in the friendship group, whatever, they're out, no one ever approaches them, you know, no one ever talks to them, and whenever they try to speak to a man always assumes that it's something romantic, like they can never just have a conversation. But when you think, you never really consider that other people are going through that because of your privilege. It kind of like covers you from seeing the world and how bigger people are really hated. So thin people in television, they are always the main character, and then the more bigger people and the people that we used to perceive as bigger. Have you ever looked back at those Disney like series I used to watch, and they're like, why did they make me think that she was fat? They were never fat. Like, what? But anyway, if you just don't look skinny, then you have to be the comedic friend. You have to make everybody laugh. No one's really romantically obsessed with you. No one loves you for who you are. That's why Bridgerton, was it the 3rd season? That was kind of a breath of fresh air, that Penelope just got to be like pretty, you know, and like her weight was never really a factor. That was also like a breath of fresh air. We need to see more bodies on that. But like when you're thin, you just get it, man. So obviously I'm generalizing. God, if you go in the comments and say that I'm thin and don't get like I'm gonna be mad. But anyway, this beauty standards, whether it be body positivity movement, thinness is back, whatever, it's really never about the people and caring about the people's health. It's all about just like power and like classism, and you know, who can afford this and this and that. That's what I think about control, about the rich people, whatever, selling you, you know, insecurity so that you can make them richer. Yes, I might be a conspiracy theorist. Sue me. Don't. But I don't, yeah. Anyway, the return of thinness is really gonna have an impact on society. I can already see it happening. There's just so many people that are coming online right now and preaching about how skinny this and this and that, this and this and that. We're gonna go back. Well, that happens with everything. It's just a cycle, right? This will happen. Everybody will have Ozempic, you know, right? And then later on in 15 years, fatness is back or body positive is back, whatever. But like, I wish we'll just stop making bodies trends, just like live and come together as one. We are the world. That's what I wish. That's what everybody wishes, but like, that's just not how it is. But anyway, tell me what you guys think about this topic, what points that I might have missed, additions, subtractions, whatever, and see you guys next time. Bye.